We are now in business. We are recording. This is a test. Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's video is going to be super different. I'm trying out a lot of new things today. I have a new camera, a new microphone, so hopefully the audio and visual should be a lot better than my other videos, but we'll see. It's the first time, so give me a chance, okay? I am dressed in my grid girl outfit that I wore this past weekend at the Grand Prix in Montreal, and it was so much fun. So this video is going to be about my experience working at the Grand Prix. So I hope you like my video, and we're just going to jump right into it. So how it all began is that I worked at the Grand Prix 2 years ago. I was chosen through my agency. They held a casting and I attended and was picked, and it was so much fun. It was actually like an amazing experience. So when they asked me again to do it this year, I was super excited. And this is a dress by Joseph Ribkoff, Montreal-based company, and so they've been doing the Grand Prix for the past couple of years. Super nice dresses, super comfortable, and they're very elegant and pretty and fashionable, and they're not trashy at all. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of the other grid girls, like little short shorts and like crop tops and stuff, but these are really elegant dresses. I'm going to be posting some pictures throughout the video, and also some of my Snapchat stories that I took while I was at the Grand Prix. I received a call to go to the audition, and it was, I can't remember which day of the week, but I showed up to the audition and there were 4 other girls from my agency, and we were all trying on our dresses. So we all have our dresses on, they're fitting us, getting our sizes, our measurements, hemming the dresses at the bottom to make sure that they fit everyone at the right length above the knee and not too short. And the woman in charge of Joseph Ribkoff, and she goes, "Okay, great girls, thank you so much for coming. We're all done our fitting. We'll give you more details a little bit in the future. And by the way, you, Lauren, and you," she looked at another girl from my agency, "we're gonna want you to dye your hair brown because we want all the girls to be brunettes." And we both looked at each other and went, "What? That was not mentioned previously," and I have never dyed my hair. My hair is not super blonde, but I mean, I really like my color, and I've never dyed it before, and I was really skeptical about just dyeing my hair for like one weekend event, right? Like, and she said, "You can think about it, take your time, and then come back to me. Let me know if you still want to be a part of the grid girls, you know, if you don't want to dye your hair." So then we leave, and I've been Facebook messaging with my hairdresser and just trying to figure out, like, do I want to just do like a pharmacy, like a drugstore toner type thing where you can just wash it out in one day. But even at that, like, I've never done anything like this, so I was just trying to get some information. A few more days go by and we get more details about the event. So my agent emailed me and she gave me, you know, like, this is what time you have to be there, this is where we're meeting, this is what you need to bring, all the details. And there was nothing mentioned about hair color. So I emailed her back and I was like, yeah, the lady at Joseph Ribkoff had mentioned that we needed to dye our hair for the event. Is that still like necessary, you know? Because I was not going to do it if I didn't have to do it. So then she emails me back right away, and she was like, the person in charge of Joseph Ribkoff eliminated all the girls that she thought were too blonde, and you're still good, so everything's okay for you. So I was like, oh my goodness, thank you. Like, I really didn't want to dye my hair. So I was super happy about that. And so the first event is the grand opening. So that takes place on the Thursday night, and it's pretty much like a red carpet event for all the drivers and like a few celebrities and just like people that are from Montreal or Quebec or whatever that like have a lot of money and they kind of want to, like, they want to come party at the event, and it's a big deal and it's really cool. So what we had to do was we were meeting at Mel's studio. It's like the cinema studios in Montreal. I think there's like 3 buildings. They film a lot of movies there and do like props and stunts and events and stuff. So we were meeting at one of those. So I had to be there at 2 p.m. I arrive and no makeup, your hair is not done at all, just washed the night before, but no styling in it, so that it was very like easy to manipulate and fix the way that they wanted it to be. So as soon as I get there, they start right away with hair and makeup, and when everybody was done, we took a bunch of pictures, and the Journal de Montréal was there, so the newspaper of my city. They were at the event to take pictures of us and just kind of interview a few of the girls to see just like our background of our agency and just to see how everything was going to play out and just like all kinds of little details like that. And then so we got into little like shuttle buses. So there was about 30 of us, 30 girls. So we had 3 shuttle buses of 10 girls, and we all got in the buses and we made our way to, it's called the Arsenal, and that's the place where the grand opening was going to be. So we arrive in the parking lot of the Arsenal, and we're waiting in our buses because, again, like the newspapers and all the cameramen and everything, they wanted us to leave the buses in a certain way, and they want to film everything and watch us line up, take a bunch of pictures. So there was like a whole process. So we're waiting in the bus. There were 3 buses, and I'm in the 3rd one with like 9 other girls. So we're waiting. The first 2 buses, the girls all get out one at a time, and they're lining up, taking pictures and everything, and then they walk into the building. And we're still sitting in the bus. And we're like, did they forget about us? No, they couldn't forget about us. We're 10 girls, and like obviously that's a big, like, yes, we're 30 in total, but 10 is a big chunk of that 30, right? So we're waiting in the bus, we're waiting, time goes by, the bus driver keeps coming in and out, and he's like, don't worry, they didn't forget about you. And then he leaves, comes back again, and he's like, yeah, now I'm getting a little skeptical, like I think they might have forgotten about you, but like that doesn't really make any sense. Just stick tight, like hang tight, and we'll like figure something out. So then finally, one of the girls that's in the bus with us is like, okay, well, I'm gonna call Joe, our agent. And all the other girls are like, okay, no, like don't call her, just wait a little bit more. Like obviously she didn't forget about us. We'll just wait it out, and I'm sure someone's gonna come get us really soon. So we wait a few more minutes, and then she goes, okay, no, that's it, like I'm calling her. So we're like, okay, you don't need to stop, like you don't need to call her. So she's on the phone rings, and she's like, hi, did you forget about us? And then you hear on the other side, what, where are you guys? And everyone just goes, oh my gosh, we're in the van, hello, like you forgot about us, what are you doing, like how did you forget about 9 people? So she's like, okay, yeah, just get out of the van, like come inside, we'll figure, like we'll place you guys and everything. And we were amazed, we were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like she actually forgot us in the van. So we hurry out, we're walking inside like a little embarrassed that we were forgotten about, you know. And so we line up, and then everything's fine. Now we're on the red carpet and we're taking all of our pictures. So we just line up, they take pictures of us, you know, like hand on your hip, like nice big smiles and everything, and then line us up on the red carpet. So now we're just lined up so that when the celebrities, the drivers, when everyone walks in, they just kind of walk by us and enter the party. Like it's a little cocktail party, like a 5 à 7. So they just walk by us, and some people will be taking pictures with us, and just, you know, just like we're just literally just there, standing there looking pretty, you know. And you think like, oh, your job is so hard, you just need to stand there and smile, like, oh my god, it must be so hard to be a model. But honestly, if you've ever had your hand on your hip for longer than, I don't know, like at this point we had to stand for 2 hours. So think, like, have your hand on your hip and don't move it for like an hour. You don't feel it anymore. Like your hand goes numb, your fingers are tingly, and like you have to shake your arm out or switch arms, but everybody has the same arm out, so you look a little crazy if you put your arm down and start shaking it around and switch arms, you know. But at some point, like, you don't have a choice, like you have to shake it out or else you feel like your arm's gonna fall off. And then same thing with your shoes, like you're standing in these high heels, like, they're pretty comfortable shoes that they had us, like, the other girls would disagree with me because they all thought they were uncomfortable, but the first time that I've tried them on, they're good quality. Like, they're soft, they're comfortable, but just having your foot in this position for a certain amount of time, like, it's gonna hurt no matter what type of high heel that you're wearing. So then, so we're standing there for like about like a good hour and a half, 2 hours while everyone's coming in, and our agent keeps slipping by behind us and be like, okay, just 5 more minutes, like, don't worry girls, we're almost done. And then 5 minutes go by, 10 more minutes, don't worry, we're almost done. Okay, the time's going up, okay, 5 more minutes, just like 2 more minutes, and we're like, okay, just stop telling us how much time is left. Finally, we were waiting for a specific person to walk on to the red carpet, so I think he was like the owner of the Grand Prix, or like the big guy that everyone knows, that everyone's waiting for on the red carpet. So finally he arrives, he walks by us, take pictures and everything, and now it's time for us to leave, get back into the buses, and then at this point we're almost done our night. We just drive, the bus drivers bring us to the racetrack, and that's where we do our practice run for the race on Sunday. This is the dress that we're wearing, okay? So it's a like sleeveless dress, short, like it ends a little bit above the knee. And I live in Montreal, this is where the event is happening, and normally in June, like when I did the Grand Prix 2 years ago, it was boiling, like we were sweating, it was so hot, it was so sunny. And this year, for the practice, it was 13 degrees. It was so cold. So we were allowed to bring jackets, and we had like our sneakers for the practice run and everything. Our coats, some girls had like winter coats, and some girls had like little cardigans because they didn't think it was gonna be this cold. And so we're doing our practice, and everything's running fine. We're just like freezing cold. So we do it as fast as we can, and then we leave. The shuttle buses bring us back to the studio where we got our hair and makeup done, and we're finally done our day, so we can go home and go to bed. And then comes the race day, which is Sunday. Wrote down some notes for you guys so I wouldn't forget anything. How it works is, since we're 30 girls, they didn't want us all to show up to do our hair and makeup at the same time. They divided us into 2 groups. So Thursday, I had to be there at 2. Some of the other girls had to be there at, I think it might have been 1, like an hour apart. So they could do most of the, like half of the girls' hair and makeup, and then the other half arrive, you know, so that not everybody's just there waiting around. Since Thursday, I had to be there in the 2nd group. Sunday, I had to be in there in the 1st group. So I had to be downtown at 7 a.m. So I woke up at 5 a.m. I was exhausted because I was like so nervous and excited the night before, so I'm like not sleeping a ton. And I had to be at the Alt Hotel in downtown Montreal. So I get there, I'm like a little bit early, right on time. I find my parking, I go upstairs, and it's a super nice hotel. Like, the view was amazing when we were getting our hair and makeup done. It was so nice. So I get my hair and makeup done, everyone's done, we're all like waiting around, we put our dresses on, and then now it's time to head over to the track. So we get into our shuttle buses again, and they bring us to the track. So now we're waiting in our buses. The person in charge comes over to each of our buses and gives us our little grid girl bracelets, and we had to wear these at all times on the track, or else we were not allowed to go on the track. Even though we're all dressed up and we're exactly the same, we needed to have our bracelet. And so they gave us our bracelet and then make us sign a little like waiver form that we're not allowed to take pictures while we're on the track, but I mean, we're not allowed to have our phones on us anyways. We don't have pockets in our dresses, so that wasn't a problem. So we all signed the papers. And then we get out of the bus and we line up in one straight line. The girls were all lined up in a straight line facing forward, and then next to us there was like military people, like RCMP and everything, lined up next to us, so there's 2 rows. And then we walk together and we go up into the VIP booths and walk. It's just like a really long corridor, and then all the VIPs are here, they're eating and watching like the race stuff, and like the race didn't start yet, but it's just like a prep, and like there's events going on and stuff. So we walk by, and they placed us like 1 or 2 girls every few feet so that there's just like a good flow of grid girls all along and people can just come up to us, take pictures with us and everything. So we're just doing that, and I'm like one of the taller girls, and they put us in order of height. So I was like near the end, near the back, and I'm waiting at the end. Like, you're trying to kind of like look around and like spot who's there because this is the VIP, so they're supposed to be like, if they're celebrities, like this is where they're gonna be, you know? So I'm looking around and I spot this really tall blonde girl, and I just go to the girl next to me and I'm like, oh my god, do you see who that is? And she's like, who's that? And I was like, oh my god, you don't know who that is? It's Devin Windsor, the Victoria's Secret model. And I was just like freaking out. She's standing like maybe 10 feet away from me. So she's there with her friend Anouk, I think her name is. Anyway, she tagged her on a bunch of pictures on Instagram, and she's a model too, and they're just standing there and people are talking to them, taking pictures of them, and then one person goes like, oh, can you stand like so that the grid girls are behind you? So like I'm behind her and I'm like trying to like subtly move so that I'm like in the picture and everything, and I'm freaking out. So then that's over, so then they leave, we leave. Now we're going down onto the track, onto the there's like a red carpet that the drivers are gonna walk through us to get onto the track. So we're lined up, all the grid girls on one side of the carpet, and then all the military people like on the other side. So we're face to face with like an RCMP person, and they're like, so like you'd think they'd be more strict and like standing straight, not smiling and everything, but most of them were like trying to talk to us and just like, you know, like being silly. One of them had his phone and he was taking pictures, and I was like, you're not allowed to take pictures, and he's like, I don't care. And we're just there like trying to be really like smiling nonstop, and if we're talking, we're like talking through our teeth because we have to smile because you never know when there's going to be cameras around you taking pictures of you. So we're doing that, and then we're waiting, and it's taking forever for the drivers to like come through, you know, they're not ready yet and everything. So we're just waiting around, and then finally the drivers come, and like literally like we're just all standing there, and one at a time the drivers just like walk like 2 feet from where I'm standing, like they all walk through us. And I was the before last, so there's like all the girls are lined up, and then it's me, one girl, and then the track. Like this is the end of the line, okay? So they walk through. Lewis Hamilton, who like finished first place in the race, walks by, looks at me, looks at the girl next to her and goes, hey, and walks onto the track. And I was like, he just said hey to you, and she was like, ah, freaking out. It was so funny. So then they're all on the track and everything, and we're all done. Then we go up onto the track, they put us, and then we get into a school bus, and they drive us around the track to like a further part of the track. Then we're getting all set up, then we get out of the bus, and they're giving us a flag, like a country flag of the driver that we're gonna be with, you know? So we have our country flags, and we're all lined up, and then we start our little like parade, okay? So we have like our flags, so like we're all in a line, so one person's holding their flag this way, the next person has it this way, and so on. So it has like the flags are on both sides, and we're walking, and the track, I mean the track is so long, we're not walking the entire track, but we're walking a good distance, and we've been standing forever in our heels, and now we gotta walk the track. Everybody's staring at us, and we're walking down. And then when we get to our, like, you know, it has kind of like a hook of where the cars all start, and they're kind of like one's here and then one's here, one's here, one's here, okay? So we're walking through, and then one girl will stop at the center of the hook and just stand there with her flag, and everyone else keeps going until there's a next one, the next girl stops, the next girl stops, until everyone is standing at a car spot, okay? But there's no cars on the track yet. So we have our flags, and then at this point it's like our country flags, and we're just holding them, and we're just standing there with our flags, and people are taking pictures of us and everything. And our cue is when, you know, the Mercedes like security car comes driving, it's like a silver car. When it comes driving through all of us, when it passes you, you turn towards the outside of the track. You turn, you go put your country flag down, and then you pick up your driver's name and number card and go back to your spot facing the opposite direction. So that's all happening, that's all done, and now we're standing there with our card, our like driver's name card poster, and we're just standing there, and it is so cold, like you don't understand. People were like, "Are you girls cold?" like making so many comments, and we're in these dresses still, and we're holding, and then the wind picks up and it's so windy, and we're like trying to stay steady, like the cards are getting like blown away and we're losing our balance. Finally, after another like 30 minutes standing there, the crews start coming in with all the stuff, so like the tires and like I don't even know what else they bring out on the track, but they start setting up at their station. So I had Carlos Sainz Jr. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name properly, but he's number 55. He's from Spain, and he went into the race in 20th place. So I'm standing at his spot, and his crew starts coming in around me, and they're setting everything up around me. And everybody, all the other drivers have their stuff set up, and then you hear the cars. So you hear the cars come out of their pit stop or their like garage, and they go around all the way around the track, and then slowly like they're being pushed to their spot. So now I'm standing here, and the car just comes slowly and parks itself like right at the back of my legs, and I'm just standing there, and still you're not moving, and then everyone else comes, sets up everything around you, and they start taking all the tires off and changing. I don't know what they do because I'm like looking forward, I don't know what's going on. We're done what we had to do on the track, and so we were heading off of the track to go take our little break and for the race to start. So since I'm at the back of the line, so I'm like the guy that started in 20th position, so I'm like near the end, so I have to walk through all of the cars to leave the track, right? So I'm going through them, and they're all like getting set up, and I get to Daniel Ricciardo, who was, I think he was going in the race 3rd or 4th maybe, I'm not sure exactly, maybe 5th, I don't even know, but he's such a cool guy. He was just standing right next to his car, like on the inside of the track, so like we had to walk right by him, and he's just there like dancing and like getting hyped up with his headphones. It was so funny. He's like, he just looks like a cool guy, like he was just getting pumped up. Leave the track, we go into like the media room in the back for us to like, this is where we have dinner, and then we watch the race as it's going on. So the race is going, we're eating our food, and it's pretty cool because you can watch the race on like little TVs in our room, but you can hear it happening live, because you guys know how loud like F1 cars are. They're like so loud. So we're just in the back, we're just like on our phones, just relaxing, take our shoes off and rest our feet for a bit before we have to go back out on the track. And if you don't know, the Grand Prix in Montreal is 70 times around the track. So we're resting in the back for this whole time, and now there's 10 more times left around the track about, so they've done 60. And so they're like, okay girls, put your shoes back on, we have to go head out and get set up and get ready for when the race is over. So they line us up so that when the winner comes in, like he drives up, he parks up in his spot, and then like walks by all of us to go upstairs to the podium. Okay, because there's like a swirling staircase that goes up, and the podium is up at the top so that all the crowd can like see them really well. When we first arrived at the track that day, my agent came up to like all of our vans and was like, is anybody bilingual here? Does anybody speak English? And they all looked at me, you know, because I'm like the Anglophone, and no one, I'm pretty sure I'm the only Anglophone that was there. So they line up all the girls outside, so we're all lined up, and it's still really, really cold. And then they say, okay, the 3 girls for the interview, come with me, we're gonna go inside. And all the other girls look at us and go, oh, so lucky, you get to go inside, like it's so cold outside. And I was like, you know. So we're inside, and the person in charge is like explaining how everything is gonna work. So she's like, okay, you're gonna be microphone number 1, you're gonna be microphone number 2, you're gonna be microphone number 3. And so what you have to do is, here's your microphone, and it has like our number on it that we're gonna give it to. So I was number 2, so there's number 2 on my microphone. And she says, okay, so you're gonna line up. Number 2 is gonna be first, because like on a podium, it's like number 2, number 1, number 3, right? So we're gonna line up, so number 2 is gonna walk out first, and then number 1, then number 3, okay? And you're going to give the microphone to your winner, and then walk off the stage, and that's it. And then we go, wait, that's it? Like, we don't even need to talk? Like, what's the point of me being English? We thought we had to do like an interview or something. And she was like, no, I just wanted people to understand me, because she's from the UK and she has like a strong accent, and like she doesn't speak French at all. So she was like, I want to make sure, like, this is a big deal. I want to make sure that the girls that I pick really understand what I'm saying. Now we're in the back room and we're watching the race, and we're like, oh my god, like, who's gonna win? Like, who am I gonna be giving the mic to? And the girl that had mic number 1, she was like, I hope it's Lewis Hamilton, like, he's so cute, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh my god, like, I honestly, I really don't care at this point. I just, like, anyone to give the mic to, like, that's insane. Like, that opportunity is just crazy. So we're just standing there and we are watching the race, and then the girl next to me just like nudges me and she goes, look over there, it's Michael Douglas. And I go, what? Michael Douglas? Oh my god, he's a big deal. And he was standing right, like, so close in the same room, like really really close. And of course, like, we want to like say hi and everything, but we don't want to bother him either, so we're just kind of standing there and like glancing at him every once in a while. And so we're watching the race, and it's getting really intense actually. Like, it's really exciting at the end. And Nico Rosberg was going for the podium, and then at one point he wipes out, and like big letdown, you know, everyone's like, oh my god, like, what's going on? And so then the race ends, and then they're like, okay, you guys have to go into the next room, like the one room over, because the drivers are going to come up into the room where we were currently standing. So we move into the other room, so we're even closer to Michael Douglas at this point, because we're like in a smaller room and there's more people, so we're like pretty packed. And then he goes, oh, what happened to Nico? Like, did he, like, how many positions did he fall back? So someone goes, oh, I think he finished in 5th place. And Michael Douglas says, oh, what? And then I say, he came in 5th. And he looks straight at me and he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh my god, like, I just spoke to Michael Douglas. This is unreal. So then we're waiting. The drivers come upstairs and they're in the other room. So there's like one door separating us from the winners, you know? And those are like congratulating each other and like looking at their times and everything. And then they head out to go on the stage to go over to the podium. So then that's our cue. We grab our mics and we're gonna give them baseball caps too. So we have our baseball caps, we have our microphones, and we're lined up near the podium. So now the podium is here, and then there's a corner, and we're standing like here. So we have, when we walk, we're gonna walk out here and then give them their microphones here, okay? So they're standing there. The mayor of Montreal is there and introducing all the winners and like congratulating them. Then they go up on the podium, give them their trophies, like, thank you all for coming, congratulations to all the winners. And now it's time to celebrate. So you know what that means at the Grand Prix. It's the champagne. They spray everyone with the champagne. So they have these massive champagne bottles like this big. We can't see the front of the podium because we're on the back side of it, but we can hear what's going on, and you can see like sprays of champagne coming out from like the sides and everything. And there's a cameraman standing there, and he's like dressed like he's going to Niagara Falls with his like rain whole outfit on, and he's getting sprayed, you know. And we're like, oh my god, like, this is gonna be our cue soon. Then all of a sudden, Sebastian Vettel, who came in 2nd place, turns the corner. Now he's facing me. He's like 2 feet away from me. shakes the champagne and then points it straight at me, removes his finger, and then sprayed, drenched, completely sprayed with champagne. And I was like, ah, like I can't move, I can't go anywhere. It's a super like narrow balcony and I can't move, I'm just like, trying to cover myself as I'm getting soaked in champagne. Then he goes back to the front and all the girls are standing around me and they're like, oh my god, are you okay? Like, get her a towel. And my hair is just dripping and I have to like walk out onto the stage in like 10 seconds. And I was like, oh my god, for sure my makeup is all dripping and I couldn't open my eyes. I had champagne in my eyes and it was burning and I was like I can't open my eyes. I have to walk out on the stage. Then someone grabs me a towel and they kind of pat it down and like wipe off all the excess, you know. My dress is all wet, my hair is soaked, and then all of a sudden they go, okay, 3, 2, 1, and they push us out to walk in front of the stage. And so I'm giving the microphone to the second place winner, who was Sebastian Vettel. So I go straight to him and I hand him his hat and I go, congratulations, and I'm soaked, you know, and I give him his microphone and he goes, I'm sorry that I sprayed you. And I'm just like, it's okay, it's fine. And I leave and I'm just like, oh my god, this is unbelievable. Like, this is like a movie, you know? Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So then we go back into the room where we just were getting ready. And the drivers come into our room and they're just like kind of taking their shirts off, changing, because now they're soaked too. So they're just like topless in the room, like no big deal. Lewis Hamilton comes over to the three of us and he goes, oh, are you girls going out to party after this? And we're like, yeah, of course, like we're going to the after party. And he's like, oh, cool, where are you guys going? So we tell him where we're going, and of course, like, it's a French word, like, we're going to l'auberge. And he's like, wait, where? So then we're kind of trying to repeat it, like, auberge, like, with an English accent. And he just looks at his, like, manager, I guess. And his manager just, like, nods his head, like, yeah, that's where we're going. And he's like, so he turns back to us, and he's like, oh, okay, cool, I'll see you later then. And super nice guy. He looks at all three of us, like, one at a time, like, straight in the eyes. And he's like, see you later, thank you, bye. Like, so nice and just, like, humble, I guess. Like, just really, like, paid attention to each and every one of us. And then we were just, like, the other two girls were like, oh my god, like, we're gonna see him later at the after party. Oh my god. So, head back to the bus. It brings us back to the hotel. We gather all of our stuff. And now a few of us were asked, well, we were asked if we were available to go to the after party. They didn't want to take everyone. They just wanted a few of us. So out of 30 girls, 10 of us were chosen to go to the after party. I was one of them. So lucky. We had to be at Auberge Saint-Gabriel, which is a super nice venue. Like, there's a lot of people that have weddings there. It's just like a nice restaurant, and then downstairs there's like a club and everything. So we all arrive, and again, we're still in our dresses, and mine smells so bad. It smells like champagne, and it's like gross, you know, sticky. They wanted us to arrive at the after party like with our same hair and makeup, and we all meet up, the 10 of us, and then we all walk into the club at the same time. And this was super cool because if you ever been to like a huge club event and there's like a lineup out the door, like down the street, and then we just walk straight up to the bouncer and we're like, oh, like the grid girls are here, and they just like remove the rope, like the red carpet rope or whatever. Like, okay, just like walk right in, no problem. Like, don't check IDs, nothing, because like we don't have our wallets, we don't have our phones on us. But this time I had brought my phone and I just like stuck it in here. We take a few pictures at the door and then we go inside, and then more pictures inside. It's packed full of people who are like eating their dinner and just having a good time, you know, drinking and all this stuff. We each get a glass of champagne and we're just walking around, like socializing with people. And then we do a little cheers and everything. And then we spot Devin Windsor, who is at the restaurant as well. So since we didn't get to have a picture with her in the VIP, one of the other models at our agency, who also works at our agency in the office, she's like, okay, like, we need to take a picture with her because, you know, it's gonna boost our agency, is gonna make us look like, oh my gosh, like, our models were hanging out with Devin Windsor and blah blah blah. So we go over to her and we're like, would you mind taking a picture with us? And she's like, oh, not a problem, super nice. So we go up onto the stairs and organize a photo and everything, and she's like, girls, you did such a good job today, like, I'm really impressed, like, it was really cold out there and like you handled it really well. And then she looks at me and I say, yeah, well, you know, like, at least it wasn't raining, so that's good, but you know, those posters were really heavy with the wind and everything. It takes a lot of muscle, you know? And she laughed and I was like, oh my god, like, I just talked to her and she laughed at my joke, like, this is not happening, this is unreal. So I have a picture with Devin Windsor, and that's just dreams come true. At the party, after all this happens, they were just like having a good time, and there's like a couple like Montreal celebrities, hockey players, some Quebec singers, and you know the show The Voice. Well, there's like a Quebec version, La Voix. So there was one of the judges from that show was there, and also a contestant. I'm not sure if he won, but he was there too. And so it was just really cool because like you're walking around, like, you never knew who you were gonna run into. There were some other models, like this male model, professional soccer players or retired soccer players. Anyways, it was really a really fun event. Near the end of the night, just standing with a few of the girls, and we're just talking and everything, and then I spot this guy and I'm like, he looks really familiar. So I keep like subtly like turning and looking, and I'm like, I think that's one of the drivers, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Daniel Ricciardo. And then so I'm just like kind of like, I keep looking, and we locked eyes a few times, but I wasn't sure. I wanted to go talk to him, but I was like really shy. And then one of the girls from my agency, again, she's like, don't look now, but Ricciardo is behind you. And I was like, yeah, I thought so. Like, I thought it was him. And she's like, do you want to go talk to him? And I was like, I really do, but like, I don't know what to say. And we weren't dressed in our grid girl outfits anymore. Like, after 11 o'clock, we were done our contract. So if we wanted to stay, we had to change out of our outfits. And so we brought different dresses to change into. So I was like, he's not gonna recognize us and everything. And I don't know, I didn't want to bother him and everything. So we're like, nah, like, I don't want to talk to him. He starts like changing rooms he was with one other person. Like, there was literally nobody around him, which I don't understand, but anyways, he was with one other person, and they go to change rooms, so they kind of walk by us. So I tap him on the shoulder, and I was like, good race today, like, good job. And he was like, what? Like, I can't hear you because the club was super loud. So I just go, good job today when you're driving. And he's like, oh, thank you. And he leaves, and I was like, ah! Oh my gosh. That is the end of the story, and that is my experience at the Grand Prix, the grand opening, the race day, and the after party. And I hope you liked this video. It's very different from my other videos. I hope it's not going to be too long. I'm going to try and edit it and make it a little bit shorter. That's all for my video today, so I really hope that you enjoyed my video, and leave me comments if you liked my video or if you have any questions about the Grand Prix or other things. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you want to see more videos from me, and you can follow me on other social medias. I'll put the link in the description down below. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.